think that we've all had enough. What keeps you up at night, yeah? Make all the demons quiet, yeah. We were built to thrive, yeah. I think that we've all had enough.
The story begins with a battle scene where everyone uses some weapon and magical power to attack. That weapon was Blaze, a weapon created from souls. Those who possess this ability are called Exceed. Our male lead, Cocoro Tooru, is on his way to the entrance ceremony at the school that teaches how to fight from the Blaze. With the scenery of cherry blossoms fallen quite romantic, the author did not forget to add a girl to make it special. Just like in the script, he meets a white-haired girl with a beauty that makes him swoon for a moment. A girl from the back comes to meet our male lead, a girl named Nagakura Imari. They quickly rush to the hall to attend the opening ceremony, starting the ceremony where the principal announces the selection ceremony. Everyone sitting next to each other will be teammates and have to fight each other. Whoever wins will be allowed to enter, and if both don't fight for 10 minutes, they will be eliminated. Everyone should use Blaze to fight each other because it's a ritual, so everyone must accept and summon Blaze to fight each other. Seeing the chaos, Tooru remembers the scene where his sister was killed by someone. Imari tells him not to be careless, and she summons her Blaze. Imari slashes a line dividing the land in front of him and repeatedly attacks him, but Tooru only dodges and catches Imari's hand. But now a kite rushes to force Tooru to summon his Blaze. So Imari wonders if Blaze is only a weapon and not a defense, but the fight still has to go on. Imari rushes to slash, but Tooru blocks and knocks the sword away. He punches Imari on the body, causing her to fall to the ground. The time of the battle is over and the winners are allowed to enter. After the ceremony, the two go separate ways. Imari knows that in the duel, Tooru was lenient, so she was not hurt. She advises him not to treat others so well and says goodbye. Back at the academy, he meets his childhood friend, Aoi Torosaki. He thinks we're just experimenters for the lowly headmistress. The two go to the classroom together. At this point, the white-haired girl catches everyone's attention. She calls out Toru's name and sits next to him. She stares at him, making him a little confused. But when Tooru starts a conversation, she turns her face away and so on a few times. Outside the window, a hyperactive girl wearing a bunny-made outfit jumps in and introduces herself as the homeroom teacher. Looking at this teacher's expression makes the whole class seem to freeze her immediately. Everyone takes turns introducing themselves. When Tooru introduces himself, the teacher tells them that he is an exception. And then everyone is given a student card and also a credit card each month with a limit of 100,000 yen. Students must live in a two-person pair, and there will be two people sitting next to each other in a pair. So Tooru and Julie became a pair. Pairs will live in the same dorm room. That night, Tooru opens the door to her room and finds Julie coming from the bathroom with a long white shirt and the interior, as you can imagine. The two sit and talk, and Julie wants Tooru to teach her that special punch, but that punch causes great pressure and is dangerous for the user. The next morning, when Tooru wakes up and sees Julie sleeping beside her, he is panicked, but Julie considers it normal. The two go to breakfast together when two other girls come to get acquainted. The blue-haired girl is named Tachibana and the brown-haired girl is Hotaka. The reason the two girls came to talk was that they thought the scene where a young man and a woman shared a room was very inconvenient, but Julie tells them that Tooru hugged her very gently, making them shocked. Tachibana calls him a pervert. In the actual combat class, Tachibana and Julie train together. The two have an intense duel performance that catches everyone's attention. Tora says that Tachibana is the daughter of a martial arts family, and suddenly Julie hits a par. Tora also lures Tooru into a duel. After 1 week of trial, Tooru and Julie are very close. That night, Julie rushes into Toru's bed to sleep, and while she sleeps, she cries, grabs Toru's shirt, and calls out to her father. Tooru somehow feels Julie's closeness, so he holds her hand and sleeps. Since there is an official couple, the whole class will participate in the New Blade Battle. New Blade Battle to determine the strength of each group. All will fight in a large area until there is only one pair left. Tooru and Julie work hard to prepare for the New Blade War. When Tooru is training, he is repeatedly defeated by Julie. He thinks that the reason was this shield. That night, Tooru dreams of a scene in the past where a man wielding a katana has killed countless people. When rushing towards him, Toru's sister parried that slash for him and died. Then he wakes up and realizes it was just a dream. Then comes that day when the New Blade Battle begins. The two discuss just going straight and dealing with all the pairs they will encounter. They beat each pair one by one. When entering the compound, the two encounter Tachibana. Julie tells Tooru to stop Hotaka and she will fight Tachibana. Hotaka brings out a large weapon that is a lance almost as big as her body and rushes to stab Tooru. Tooru summons his shield to help. After a while of exerting strength and due to the lance being as thick and heavy as it is, Hotaka is exhausted and falls down. As for Julie against Tachibana, after a while of moving the scenario, the result is still Julie wins. The two continue, and in the end there is only one pair left to finish. Suddenly they hear someone scream. They run there and see Torasaki and Tatsuno lying on the ground. Tora warns them to be careful with the teacher when the teacher pulls out a large sword and slashes him. Tooru is injured from that slash and he is wondering why blaze could hurt humans. The teacher reveals that the blaze will hurt humans if used for evil purposes. She rushes to slash him but is stopped by Julie. She steps back to pick up Tora's blaze and destroys it, causing him great pain. Tooru asks her why is she doing this, and she says it's her job to deal with promising kids like them. She rushes to fight the two and forces them into a weak position with a barrage of attacks. Tooru uses that fist but can't do anything if it didn't hit. He uses his shield to block the fierce attacks from his teacher. He understands that he will be defeated at this rate and immediately signals Julie to use the skill at close range. Julie rushes over to block her slash, and Tooru takes this opportunity to use his fist to attack her. In fact, Tooru aims at her blaze and smashes it, causing her to faint in pain. When he wakes up the next morning, Toru's hand is touching Julie's body. When Julie wakes up, Tooru quickly kneels down to repent, but Julie gently ignores it because she thinks it is too normal. When everyone comes to class, Tsukimi-sensei also goes in to teach as usual. The two of them immediately go to the principal's office to ask about it. The headmistress says that Miss Tsukimi is so strong that she still defeated them. Her teaching method is very effective. The principal only cares about the results and only aims for the title of the perfect couple, absolute duel. In the end, all 6 pairs, including Tooru, Tachibana, and Tora, are raised to level 2. At this time, a girl named Lilith Bristol gets down from a helicopter and finds Tooru, calling him out. Lilith wants Tooru to pair up with her. She is also a special blaze possessor. She transfers to this school just because she wants to be in a pair with Tooru, but he refuses. He turns back to the classroom. That night, Julie asks to sleep with Tooru. As a distraction, Tooru lures her to go shopping for the weekend, and she happily accepts. Tooru doesn't know where to shop, so he asks Hotaka. They plan to go shopping at the weekend where everyone will notice how cute Julie is. The clothing clerk even asks Julie to try out one outfit after another just to see her. The two continue hanging out in the mall happily, but behind them are Tachibana and Hotaka, watching them. While following them, they are harassed by a group of thugs. Tooru sees them and runs to protect them. Suddenly, Lilith takes the gun-shaped blaze and shoots at the thugs, knocking them unconscious in an instant. It turns out that the blaze is also a special type like Tooru, so she is called an exception. Switching the scene to the swimming class, Tachibana has reached level 2, so her swimming ability has increased significantly. All 6 of them were injected with something that made them stronger and faster than before. Everyone is much faster when it is Julie's turn to swim, but after a while she doesn't come up. Tooru sees this and jumps in to pick her up. It turns out that Julie can't swim. Tooru cares for and comforts Julie. At this point, Hotaka also wishes she couldn't swim to be taken care of by Tooru. On the way back to the dormitory, Tooru sees Lilith drinking tea and tells Julie to go back first and runs to see Lilith. Tooru is about to ask, but Lilith says that if he wants to know, he has to go with her to a place that is in an amusement park. While playing shooting games in the park, Lilith confides in her hobby since childhood that she has mastered assembling different types of guns. She says guns are the most important thing to her, and that's why her blaze looks like a gun. When Tooru asks Lilith why she used her blaze at the mall, she says it is because she wanted to show Tooru her blaze. She is happy to have a special blaze user like her. Lilith thinks Tooru is the best choice for her, and she once again asks Tooru to pair up with her, but he still refuses. Because it's so humiliating to be rejected twice, Lilith slaps him hard and leaves. The next day, Tsukimi-sensei announces the competition in the class. All the first-year students will fight a group of second-year students with levels 2 to 3. But the battle is about to start when Lilith comes in and says that she will defeat all of them. Thought it was just a joke, but it is true that she uses her blaze to destroy the whole group of second-year students. She tells the headmistress to organize a survival party to strengthen their friendship. During her survival party, Lilith will fight all the first years in a building. The level 1 students are defeated quickly. Only 6 lucky level 2 students remain unharmed. When facing Lilith, Tooru apologizes for rejecting her twice and wants to have a duel with Lilith. He thinks that it is the right way to reconcile like that. Then the two start their battle. Toru notices that each time Lilith shoots, she turns her gun up, so Toru calculates the trajectory and dodges it. Suddenly, Tora and Tachibana rush to attack Lilith. Even though they planned it very carefully, they still couldn't control Lilith. She still safely dodges and escapes. The six decide to split into groups to chase after Lilith, but she shows off her hunter skills as she disguises herself as someone else and then shoots Tatsu. While fighting with Lilith, Julie loses her temper and reveals an opening that causes her to get hit. Fortunately, Tachibana comes to save her in time, but she also gets one bullet in her stomach. Currently, only 3 people remain. Hotaka's lance is very powerful but cannot reach her. Toru recalls Lilith's reloading details before each shot, and from there he discusses the plan with everyone. While preparing the plan, Julie tells Toru that she is losing her temper because she is afraid that after this battle, Toru and Lilith will understand each other's abilities and become a pair. Toru gently consoles her, pats her head and says that he will protect and become Julie's strength and that the only person who will be with her forever is him. The atmosphere turns romantic when suddenly Lilith appears. She thinks to end the party for the day, but then Toru punches the ground so hard that Lilith has to jump up in the air. It is difficult to dodge. After dodging and jumping from Hotako's lance, she loads her bullets and shoots Tora down. Thought that she has to reload to fire again, but then she continues to shoot Julie's chest. It turns out that it is just a fake gesture to fool everyone. Suddenly, Julie slashes Lilith's arm, causing her to drop her blaze. Apparently, she was shot in the chest, but why was she unharmed? It turns out that the bullet was caught by Tachibana's blaze, and Toru gently explains that he saw her shooting continuously without reloading at the supermarket yesterday, so he tries to fool her. When everything seems to be over, suddenly there is a gunshot somewhere. A bullet hits Toru's shoulders and blood begins to flow. This is a real bullet, not a blaze. 3 armor-clad men appeared. One of them takes off his mask and says that he was ordered by the equipment smith to ask Lilith to come with them. Lilith refuses and is shot by the blonde man. Seeing that, Julie and Tora rush to attack and are easily stopped. The blonde man quickly approaches Hotaka and points the gun at her head, forcing Lilith to follow them. When they leave, everyone quickly chases them. Toru blocks the escalator and punches the ground, causing the escalator to break. Tora and Julie successfully defeat the 2 soldiers, and Lilith and Toru team up to shoot down the blonde man. After that battle, Hotaka feels like she is a burden to everyone. The scene is changed to the blonde man talking to Equipment Smith, who shows off his achievements and very powerful armor. After months of hard training, Tsukimi announces that everyone will be able to enjoy and entertain comfortably tomorrow. Oh my god, when you go to the beach, you have to wear a bathing suit. Then there are the beach games. Toru can hit the watermelon but easily gets Tachibana's bra. Good job! That night, the blonde man leads his army to attack the island. This unit is much stronger than the units that have attacked Lilith before. Even the headquarters are attacked, and the headmistress gives Tsukimi a vial of liquid, telling her to go out to satisfy her powers. Tsukimi injects her neck and goes into the battle excitedly. Her blaze is like a whip that attacks units. Tsukimi also tells Toru that at level 4 sublimation, each exceeds can awaken blaze. She splits her blade into an energy gear and throws it at the units. The gear runs down to the ground, cutting everything that stands in its way. The entire unit is defeated by the glasses-wearing man who frequently appears next to the principal. Tachibana goes to tell Toru that Hotaka is still nowhere to be found. Suddenly, the principal's office explodes. Everyone decides to split into 2 groups. Tachibana and Imari will look for Hotaka, while the rest will stay to control the situation. Toru runs to the principal's office and finds Lilith injured and says that the blonde man has taken the principal. Toru and Julie quickly run to the shore when they see that the boat has just left the dock. During the fight, Julie uses her speed to give Toru the opportunity to punch the blonde man. But the blonde man is unharmed because he is equipped with the power armor of Equipment Smith. He is the leader of Levers. His alias is K. Toru and K rush at each other, and Toru is stabbed in the leg with a knife. Seeing Toru injured, Julie immediately loses her temper, causing her to be knocked down right after. As soon as the knife starts flying towards Julie, Toru catches it in time. He says he will protect Julie. Kei angrily throws the other knife at Toru's shoulder and beats him continuously. While hazy, Julie remembers the painful past when she witnessed her father die in front of her. Her whole body is enveloped in dark flames. She slashes repeatedly and knocks Kei to the end of the ship. When Toru sees the blood on Julie's arm, he knows that she could not control this power, so he advises her to stop. However, she is about to attack Toru, but she suddenly faints. Over there, Kei stands up normally as if nothing is happening. Kei receives new orders from Smith and says he has found what he wants and no longer needs to arrest the headmistress. Right now, in the lab, Smith is luring Hotaka with the power she will get from the armor. They were forced to leave the island even though they could not find Hotaka. Tachibana cried after not finding Hotaka. Tooru is haunted because he can't find Hotaka, so he often has nightmares. Julie hugs him and sings to him, the way her mother used to comfort him. The next day, the headmistress allows Tooru up to level 4 thanks to saving her. She gives him a pen that contains a Blaze Awakening drug. This conference will be held at the academy. Graduated students are summoned to ensure the safety of the conference. Level 3 students are required to join the security team. Lilith says that Smith is a high-ranking member of the underground military organization, and it was there that he established the God-Slaying Corps, Libers. All 6 people in the conference are aiming for absolute duo, which is also the ultimate boundary of soul power. During the conference, Smith makes a proposal to the headmistress. He wants the students studying at the school to combine with his armor for superior strength, but the headmistress immediately refuses. Smith suggests a game to solve this. The game is that he will let his army attack the academy. Whichever side destroys the enemy first will win. While the two are working on their plan, Hotaka, with a blank expression, walks over to Mr. Smith's place and summons an armor suit. She displays her overwhelming strength, causing the 4 graduated students to be defeated very quickly, and she unhesitatingly attacks Tachibana as if something has controlled her. She attacks Tooru while still calling him affectionately. Seeing her best friend like that, Tachibana tries to do something to save her. She ties Hotaka with her blaze and tells everyone to chase Kei, leaving her alone here. Tora and Lilith stay behind to deal with the attackers, and Julie and Tooru chase after Kei. After opening the door of the building, Kei is waiting for them there. He lured them here to get revenge on the last occasion. He wants to see Toru's face when he fails to protect someone important. Tachibana is still trying to convince Hotaka to give up the power of that armor, but she doesn't listen and hits Tachibana with her lance, and she cries, saying that she also wants to have the power to make her crush notice her. Tachibana says that this is wrong, and Tooru also doesn't like her current state. Tachibana's words hit the seed in her head and cracked it. After a while of arguing, Tachibana slaps her, causing that seed that controlled Hotaka to shatter, and she returns to her normal state. At this moment, Kei sees Hotaka's control device suddenly stopped working, but still frantically attacks Tooru and Julie. To protect Julie, Tooru uses the power that the headmistress lent him. He creates a shield that blocks all the bullets, and then he rushes forward and gives Kei a punch that knocks him down instantly. Smith is defeated by the headmistress, so he angrily runs over and repeatedly beats Kei. After that, he is killed by Kei, and Kei takes away his ultimate armor. He intercepts and destroys Toru's blaze, causing him to faint instantly. Even Lilith is quickly defeated. The ultimate armor makes Kei extremely powerful, but its destructive power can still not penetrate Toru's barrier. Upon seeing this, he shoots towards the school, his goal being to destroy the students, but fortunately, Tsukimi uses her awakened blaze to block that attack. Taking that opportunity, Julie charges forward and she accepts a stab from him to destroy one of the armor's hooks. While Tooru is running toward Julie, Kei opens fire on Julie, causing Tooru to use a barrier to cover Julie. Suddenly, Kei rushes to stab Tooru from behind. Julie sees Tooru being stabbed. The dark power in her body rises up. Even though Kei was wearing the ultimate armor, he couldn't withstand Julie's strength. After a while of fighting, Kei is defeated by Julie. Tooru is somehow still able to get up to stop Julie, but she immediately rushes to attack Tooru. She frantically attacks Toru's barrier to the point that she is seriously injured. In the end, Tooru decides to remove the barrier, gets a slash from Julie and hugs her in his arms. He says that he will always be by her side and that they will forever be a pair. These words wake Julie. Looking at this scene, Kei recalls his dead brother. He wants to kill them to satisfy his feelings. Tooru picks up Julie's blaze and lunges at Kei, delivering a finishing blow to him. After that incident, life returns to normal. The students happily laugh together. That afternoon, Tooru runs to look for Julie. He sees the twin clock towers where he and Julie paired up last time, and he thinks Julie is here. She tells Tooru that she is not an Exceed. On the day her father was killed, she awakened her own soul power and created her own blaze. But there will come a time when she will not be able to control her powers, so she is afraid of harming Tooru. He comforts her and holds out his hand to tell her that he wants Julie to continue being paired with him. That wraps up this anime summary. What are your thoughts on the series? Write them in the comments. Hope you guys enjoyed, and don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe for more anime summaries. See you all next time.